welcome to my 2025 mid-year whip parade. If you're new to the channel, my name is Amy and I go by the Reading Stitcher here and on Instagram. And this is just a channel where I share the progress that I make on all my cross stitch and sometimes my reading and video games and any other hobbies that have are kind of in my repertoire. I've been doing this channel for a couple months now. This would be my Flosstube number 11, and earlier this month I did a finish parade for all the unexpected large amount of finishes that I got throughout the first half of the year. I don't know if you can see, but I've got my dog in the background. This is Helix. This is one of his favorite places to perch himself. He will probably hang out there for the duration of the video. And my other dog, Finn, is at my feet, and he's a husky, and he's not camera shy, but he doesn't tend to come up on the furniture as much. About some of the things that I tend to work on. I would say most of my projects are starting to lean towards into the full coverage. I think I have 8 or 9 Heaven and Earth designs, and this year I started a pattern by StitchesSewBeautiful, which of course led me down the rabbit hole of basically their entire site, so there will be more starts from them in the future. I have a few sampler like Quaker types, and other than that I just have a few smalls that tend to take me forever because I don't bring them out that often. So this will be a mainly full coverage channel, I think. I guess I've kind of structured this so that we're gonna go through the whips works in progress that I had started before the beginning of the year, and then I've got new starts and then a section for plans. If you see me looking down, I've got my notebook, and I also have a spreadsheet open to the side of me with the details for all my projects that I'll be using, just to remember like fabric types and names and stuff like that. There'll also be a couple cuts between each section because I'm doing this on my phone and I don't want to run out of storage space. So I'll try and make sure that when I'm editing it'll look a little prettier. And I also will have beginning of the year pictures for the whips in the first section. Obviously anything that was started this year won't have a before picture. So I guess without further ado, I will get started. So I have everything off to the side here, and I do have everything in a project bag. So unfortunately that does mean that zippers will probably be opening. I took everything out of the hoops, so hopefully I don't have any in here that need to be removed. So the first pattern that I have, and these are in no particular order, is Celestine by Margaret Riolis. And this I started on January 1st of 2024, and it is on a 25 count lugana with it's just a white lugana, and it's 1/1 full cross. All of my projects are full cross. The only time I do half cross or anything else is if it's mandatory in the pattern. I'm not particularly fond of working in half stitch. There might be a little fumbling today. For some reason I'm a little extra nervous. I'm working this one with all the caul dyed threads in DMC, and Sorry for the hanging threads. I do use the parking method, so those will be kind of in the way, I suppose. And this is where I got to this year. So in my little spiel there, you should have seen a picture of where this was at the beginning of the year. And so I have done 4,479 stitches this year. And that all would have gone into this bottom page. So as you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous. I just love, love, love the colors in this. Margaret Riolis is one of my favorite artists, and I have several more of her patterns downstairs ready to go. Well, not ready to go, but to kit up. And if I could, I would literally just start all of them. But I'm trying to limit myself. So this is the progress I've made on this year, and I'm very happy with it. One of the things I think you'll notice is that when I'm working in my patterns on my full coverages, I work in 10 by 10 diagonal blocks. And this is because when I first started, I used where's my next one? Oh no. Okay, 1 second, I left my one pattern on. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the reason that I work in that particular way, other than the fact that I like it, is because a lot of my patterns are still in paper form for my full coverage. I've begun converting, but I have a lot of charts that are retired and some limited editions, and so obviously I just work on with my paper copies with those. This one might be a little hard to see. I might push out my table a bit. So this is, and sorry, I'm obviously all over the place today. So this is Love Owls by James Browne. This is the first HAED that I ever have an earth design that I ever started, and I'm working this on a 16 count, 2/1 full cross, and I started this one sometime in 2020. I think in the summer, maybe. It's hard to tell because at the time I wasn't really keeping track of the same stuff that I do now. So this is my oldest project, and it's also my furthest along full coverage. So I'm not sure if I can get this whole thing in here. You can see that. So at the end of the year, I had gotten all the way to, on the second row, all the way to this end here. So this year, I have only been working on, sorry, I'm just going to make this a little easier for myself. So this year, I have been working in these pages. So this has gotten 4,881 stitches, and I've had one page finish, and so this is the last full page before the bottom. Let me see if I can get this better. So this is the last full page before the bottom, and then there's a partial page, and then I will have reached the bottom of the piece. And after that, I will be able to cut this fabric because I have lots of excess, and maybe use it for something like something small. But this is definitely one of my favorite projects, and it is looking really good. So I started this during the pandemic. And at the time I was like, oh, it's okay, I'll just start this big pattern. Oh, I'll have it finished within a year or so. No, it's been like 5 years. So that did not go as planned. But that's okay. I'm more of a process stitcher, so I definitely enjoy the process. And then when I get to the finish end, I honestly, sometimes I just don't know what to do. The next pattern, and sorry if I go digging, I have this in my spreadsheet in order, and it's just easier to keep track that way. So the next pattern is one of my Mill Hill kits, and this is Blue Jay. Sorry about the glare there. And this is obviously on a, I got this with the kit. It's from Mill Hill. It came with all the DMC pre-culled, and this is where I'm at. So this year I have put in 935 stitches, and a lot of that was in this blue background here and in this part. And I have started beading the Blue Jay. So I chose this pattern because my grandparents, I was really close to them, and they kind of had like birds that they just really loved. So for my grandfather it was blue jays and cardinals, and then for my grandmother it was hummingbirds. So we kind of associate those birds with them, and yeah, so I love things to do with those. I actually have several patterns downstairs from Heaven and Earth, Donna Glessinger, with the cardinals. So yeah, they're definitely my favorite birds. So the next project that I have here is mini Wind and Snow Dragon, another full coverage by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is by Renee Biertempfel, I think is how you say that. And this is the mini. And so far this year, this is on a 16 count 2/1, just white Aida, and this is where I'm at. So far this year, this has gotten 8,818 stitches, and just recently in the last week or so, this is the edge of the pattern. So I am very close to finishing this row. I think if my plans go right, I might have this row done by the end of the week. And this has been the project that I believe has had the most stitches throughout the year. And I love the detail. For a mini, this is super detailed. I just love the way that she looks, and that dragon is so cool. So this has got a lot of progress, and I've been pulling it out quite often. And I've kind of done some calculations because I'm using a paper pattern for this. And when I finish the page, the row there, I will be done 31% done. And I started that one December 31st in 2002. Now where'd it go? Oh, okay. Sorry. So the next project in my list here, this is the right one, is the Cathedral Wood Goddess. And this is by Mirabilia. And this I started this on January 1st, 2023 with the Teresa Made Me Do It sale. And I'm still working on it. I'm done. I'm actually fairly good along, decently along. This is on, let's see here, it's a 16 count Aida by Bestitch Me called Stonehenge. And sorry here, all my fabrics are just so big that it's sometimes a little difficult for me to figure out how to hold them. So this is where we're at. And I bead as I go. So you can see there's a lot of sparkle in there. You can see the treasures, and I think you can see the beads. Maybe. Yeah. So I did basically her entire, basically all of her shoulder area from the neck down, I think, this year. Because I started with her antlers. And she's gotten 735 stitches this year. Next up is another HAED. What's this one? And picture, yeah, here's my picture. So this is Mini Serenity, artwork by Fain. And I'm working this on a 16 count Aida 2/1. And again, I apologize for all the crinkling and the what's nots. So this year she has gotten 3,641 stitches, and she was started December 1st, 2022. And she's gotten a decent amount of progress this year. She got, yeah, I think 1 page finish. And I finally, like, there was a lot of background, obviously, in this one. Lots of darks. But when I got hit the moon on her, the moon has been so much fun to stitch. And the way her wings just kind of poking through with the silhouette is really cool. So she's, yeah, 3,641 on her. And that brings me to another Heaven and Earth design. I think you might be starting to notice the pattern by now. Just about all of my full coverage, like I said, are Heaven and Earth designs up until this year. So this next one is Which Way, charted by Molly Harrison. And I started her on December 31st, 2022. And this is on a 25 count lugana. And I'm working it 1/1. And so it's not much of a start. Well, I mean, there's more than a start here. So this has gotten 2,052 stitches. And I'm close to another page finish on here. And as you can see, she's going to be quite big. This is, I think, one of, if not my largest. I think there's only one that's bigger than her. But she's gorgeous. I love, love, love all the different colors that are in her. Okay, so next up is Trick or Treat. This one here. And Trick or Treat is, who is this by? It's by Cottage Garden Samplers. I think I have a picture of the pattern. Here we go. This is the pattern here. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, so this is, I started this on July 29th, 2023, so this was my birthday start that year. And I'm using all the four colors, and I'm using a 16 count Stitch Me fabric called Bronze Age. And I haven't gotten much done, only 301 stitches this year, and that is all, I think, on this pumpkin area here. So all the outline down here. because this block I believe was already finished. So I do really like the colors in this. I don't pull it out that often. I don't know why. I could bring it out more. Maybe I'll pull it out during Halloween. And I believe the only reason it's gotten any progress at all this year is because I was doing a whip frenzy at the beginning of the year as well. Okay, so next up is my Silhouette's Quaker. So this is Silhouette's Quaker by Teresa Goldet. And I am doing this on a 16 count fabric that is hand dyed by Rolanda, who's a person on Etsy who I sometimes get fabric from. It's a very nice fabric that she did. Just a brilliant orange. And this is being done with the called for Weeks Dyes Works, and it's gotten only 204 stitches this year, and it was all in the bottom area down here where the needle minder is. And the reason for that is because I ran out of the darker color, and I haven't had a chance or the money to buy it just yet. So it's on timeout until I can get some more of that color. But I really like this, and I know if I had the color, it probably would be done already. Because it's pretty close to a finish. I'm on the second page, the bottom page, and it goes pretty fast. Okay. So next up is my Long Dog sampler. And this is, sorry about this, there we go. So this is Pandemic, and I was able to get this when it was free, and I like this. I don't know why I don't work on it very often. I think it might be because it's an opalescent thread fabric. And it's huge, like seriously huge. It's like all over. Everything in this bag is kind of all over the place. But this is, where's the name of this? Pandemic. It is on a Bestitch Me fabric called Winter Blues. And this, so it's kind of at the time when I picked the fabric and the threads, and the threads are done by hand dyed by Rolanda, and they've got like serious, there's some serious color changes in it, and I realize now that I know a bit more, this is very close to being a tone on tone because the blue matches quite well. And I do have this actually slated to bring out this week, so there will be getting some progress because it's only gotten 205 this year. I don't think you guys can see the sparkle, but this sparkles quite a bit. And the fabric is Bestitch Me, and it's 2/1. And yeah, so look, this is hand dyed by Rolanda. It's a custom thread that I asked for, and so many color changes. I just love these colors. It's one of my favorite colors, and I definitely have way too much of it, just like I did with my year of silhouettes. I believe I managed to buy probably 4 or 5 hanks of it, and I probably only need 2 or 3. That's okay, I'll use it for something else. Okay, so next one is my Earth Unicorn by Heaven and Earth Designs. And if you're wondering, the majority, if not all, I think only all of my projects are in some sort of project bag. And all of the ones like this, except for maybe 2, are by Little Boat 88 on Etsy. And she's usually my go-to, just because she's Canadian and she's super consistent with the quality. And then I have a few that I've gotten as gifts or my mom's made. So this is Earth Unicorn, and this is by Kelee. And this is on a 25 count Stitch Me fabric called Blush, and it's a 2/1, and this has gotten 5,417 stitches, and just this past week I finished off another row. So this is the only pattern that I work using something similar to the Royal Rose method, just because it's in like circular. And I really like this. And I also have the Wind, Water, and Fire unicorns in the same series that will be accompanying this, which is so cute. And I really like working on this. And usually when I get it out, it gets like the whole row because it's super easy to stitch. Okay, and the last one I have here in this section is the Black Water Siren Cell by Filipina that started last year. This is using all of the called for threads and the fabric, and I have finished the first part. And as you can see, I did not iron this or anything. It's all over the place, but it's a gorgeous fabric. Like, look at the mod. Look at that. That's gorgeous fabric. It's so pretty. So I have finished the first part, and it's gotten, this year it has gotten 862, and they've all, I believe, gone into this part 2 of the first siren. So this cell is completed now, and you can see that I've beaded as I went. So the treasure chest is all beaded, and I've done some of the back stitch on her as I've gone. You can see some of the sparkle there. I don't pull this out very often because it's on a 28 count, and it was UndertheSeaFabrics that did this one, and it's gorgeous, but it's hard for me because this is my first project that I've ever worked on for a 28 count, so it's hard for me to kind of work on and see, especially with this darker fabric. And I was not really thinking, so I have both Mill Hill and Delicate beads, and now that I've had the chance to use both, I like the Delicate beads. They're very nice. So that's it for the first section. So I'm just gonna go grab the next set of projects, and all of those will be the new starts that I've had this year. So I will be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, so this is the section for all the new starts that I've had this year, and I mean there's quite a few. I think 8 new starts this year so far. So we'll start with them in the order that I started them, so these will be in order. So the first one will be my January 1st start. And I'm not going to say, oh, I started them this year, because that's kind of, I suppose, redundant. And I do have a picture, if I can get it. I do have a picture here of what it looks like if I can get it to come out. There we go. There we go. This is what it looks like. So this is Belle de Mer. And this is by Joan Elliott. And I am working this on a 16 count Be Stitch Me fabric called Through the Stones. I'm using all of the called for fabric, and this is where I got to this year. So this is, I believe, the majority, yes, a large part of the first page, just cross stitches done. There's still a seahorse up here and then more kelp in her hair. And as you can see, I have been back stitching as I go. So she has gotten 1,009 stitches this year. And I don't know if you guys can hear, but he's been snoring away this whole time. Just like huge snoring. He's completely out. Anyway, so this sidetracked there by his cuteness. Yeah, so this was my first new start, and I'm using all the called for DMC threads with the Kreinik, and of course the beads. So my next start is one that I actually don't have here with me. I will put up a picture because I think I have one. I'm not sure if it's like a progress picture or what. I might just have the with the pattern. It's the project that I keep at work, and with me being off work at the moment for a medical leave, I left it there, so I don't have it right now with me. But it has gotten 801 stitches, so it's about halfway done, and it's just like a Santa Claus tiny little ornament. It's probably only about yay big. The next new start I had this year was the 2025 Mystery Stitch Along, Celestial Fantasy by, this one was by the Cross Stitch Studio. Obviously, being a Mystery Stitch Along, I do not have a full picture. And this is the first part. And there's, I believe, 14 parts out now. And I'm way far behind. And part of the reason for that is because I didn't have all of the colors. So I was just using what I had in my stash. So it's got 2,750 stitches, and I believe there's 4,000 per page. So I did this one extreme, well, not extreme, cross country through the page, and I really didn't like it. So last week, as like my birthday gift to myself, I decided to go into Lens Mills, which is a craft store here in Canada, and they had a sale on for 2-for-1 floss in DMC up to 50 skeins. So I bought the rest of the colors. So hopefully this will be coming out a lot more often. And it's on a 25 count white lugana, and it's stitched 1/1. Next I have another full coverage. This have to excuse the glare here. So this is Amethyst by Chris Ortega by Heaven and Earth Designs. Now I bought this pattern obviously in paper, and then this is one of the ones that I've converted to Pattern Keeper. So this was started on January. The Mystery Stitch Along was also started on January 15th, and this was started on January 21st. It has gotten 2,576 stitches so far, and according to Pattern Keeper, this is my largest project, being at like 280 something thousand stitches. Here we go. And for all that, it's a pretty good start, I think, considering how many projects I have. So because of a challenge, there's a black border all around the entire project. So I used the opportunity given during a challenge, sorry this is not cooperating, and just went down 200 stitches just to give myself, you know, an idea of the length, and obviously I have a lot to go. Yeah, so that's about halfway through the first page, and I love the colors. And I have a bit of a companion, I like to call it a companion piece to this, called Fire Opal, and it was a limited edition by Heaven and Earth Designs, also by Chris Ortega, but it's basically a very similar kind of design, but with reds and like a fire theme instead of a moon theme. So once I get more progress on this one, I will be starting that one, but probably not this year. And look at the pandas. He's so cute. Okay, so my next new start was called The Fox. And I'm sure some of you will have seen this in other people's Flosstubes. It was A Year in the Woods. Oh, that's not the right one. A Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplers. So this is the first year, The Fox. As you can see, I have the swans ready to do, and it's up, fully kitted up, and it'll be going on the same fabric, so they live in the same bag. So this was the new start. This is on a 25 count lugana called Stormy Night, and I am using the called for DMC and Gentle Arts threads. And this fabric is it's actually printed, so we don't have this modeling on both sides, and the back of it is just blank. And this is my start. So yeah, pretty decent. I'm very happy with how far I've gotten on this. And that has gotten 2,046 stitches. And that's basically the top half of the pattern done. Now, I wasn't really thinking when I started this one, and I put it smack dab in the middle of the fabric at the top. So I'll do some calculations. I might be able to fit the other two more, like, it'd be really nice if I could fit all 12 on here. So I'm gonna try. Might not work. Might be a little tight, but that'd be okay. I mean, yeah, that would work. But I have been really enjoying this one. And that got started on January 24th of this year. Okay, so next page. So my next one is a full coverage, not by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'll have to insert a picture here. I'll put the picture in here. I'll try and remember. This is Boreal Colors by Eder Jose Rosa. You might have seen it already in some other people's projects. This is by StitchesSewBeautiful. And this is where I've gotten. So this is 2-page finishes with 6,942 stitches so far this year. As you can see, when I have it up close, you can really see the white between it, because it's 1/1 on the white lugana. But when you look at it back here, you can't really tell that, like, it looks fine. It's just that when the light's on it, it like kind of, you can see everything when the light's on it. But when I look back here, like, it looks really nice. And This is the piece that I use with the Stitches So Beautiful monthly challenge. So I've gotten a couple of patterns from those challenges using this one, and that's why it has so much progress this year so far. And this was started on January 31st of this year. And I will try to remember to put the picture in because I don't have it printed off like I do with my other ones. Okay, so the next one that I have is a kit by Riolis. Now, I don't know the official name of this. It just doesn't really have the name on it. So I've just been calling it Deer Spirit. And so this was a new start just recently. Let me see here. On June 26th. And I just noticed that I put 2026 instead of 2025. There you go. I always put in the wrong dates. So I really like this. This is actually on a printed fabric. Not like how the Stormy lugana was, but like full on, like the entire background is, don't care. The entire background is printed onto the fabric. So there was actually a spot on here that indicated where to start your pattern, so that you would get it like in the proper place. So this has gotten 258 stitches, and I don't work in Q-snaps very often, but because the fabric was so like it wasn't going into my hoop very easily, so I put it in here. I usually only use my Q-snap when I'm beading, because then I can put like the felt and stuff. And I just have some extra fabric here to make sure that nothing gets damaged. This will be coming out this week because I put it in one of my weekly plans. But yeah, so I do enjoy this when I work on it, but it's hard because of the, like when they did like the paper pattern, and I don't recall my other Riolis ones being this like big, but like they went full on. This isn't just like, it's like huge. It's huge, like in terms of like paper. So when I work on it, it's kind of difficult, especially when I get to an area. I imagine it would be really difficult when I get to an area where it's like kind of creased, and I don't think that that's gonna be all that fun. Okay, so on the next one here, another recent start, and I will have to put a picture in because it's a pattern I got off of Etsy. So I will try to put it up right here. And this is Spirited Away by Natalia Orehova. I think that's how you say that. This was started on June 24th, and this is a fiber on a whim fabric called Affogato, and I'm just using the called for DMCs. So I chose this pattern. I don't know if any of you have seen Spirited Away, but it is one of my favorite kids movies by Studio Ghibli. I have a lot of Studio Ghibli patterns from Etsy. Yeah, so this word is half done, and then Chihiro is going to go up here, and this is Haru, who's the dragon. Now I did have some trouble with the back stitch in there. I made a mistake, but I think it looks okay. I mean, you can hardly tell what it is to begin with, but it is going to be a dragon there. And that got 885 stitches to start. And I need to put her into a project bag. I don't know why I just have it in, or these I usually don't. Just keep them like that. Okay, and so the last one here is going to be a 2-in-1 because one was a start and a finish, but then I started another one. I'll use beside on the same fabric. So you would have seen this in the Finish Parade. This was the Owl 4 kit that I got from Joy Sunday when I got it for Christmas when I was just starting. And so the middle one I just finished, and I just started the new one. So that was the finish, and I just realized I didn't show you the picture. Oh. So this is what this one is also called Owl 4. Not exactly imaginative, but whatever. Yeah, so I was able to calculate, and I have one more in this kind of like series of kits that I got from my mom for Christmas, like when I was first starting out. And so I'm gonna be able to get them all onto this fabric. So I started this yesterday, and you can see it's just this white kind of branch here, and that's 508 stitches. So I did some calculations. It's going to be a bit tight over here, but it should fit. And then one more will go over here. And then I'll have all the rest of the fabric, instead of going down, I'll be able to use this for something else. Probably a Mira or a Bella. Because I like doing those on my 16 counts. And I have a lot of 16 count because I was in the Stitch Me Fabric of the Month for the 16 count and the 25 count at one point. And I just realized I didn't tell you what this was. This is a Stitch Me fabric called Succulent. I didn't tell you to say that. 16 counts, 2/1 with the kit threads. And that was the one I just started yesterday. So I have one more section, and I just need to go grab, I'm going to go grab the patterns that I'm planning on starting so you guys can see them, and I will be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, so for my plans, tomorrow is my birthday, so I plan on doing a birthday start. And then I'm hoping to get 3 of these 4 new starts started maybe this week or next week. So this year I decided to do a 25 and 25 year. So basically what that means is I have 25 open slots for whips. And anytime, you know, I finish something, I can replace it. If I start things on the same piece of fabric, it counts as the same kind of slot. And you know, there's a couple rules, but I won't go into that. But basically what that means is I have, because of all the finishes that I've had this year that were mostly unexpected, I have room for 4 new starts at the moment. And so I've decided, because I have a lot of stuff that's kit up downstairs that I just need to organize and or start, and I have kits that I'd like to start too. So I've got 2, there's a couple here that I'd like to really get started on, and this one is a bit difficult because of how it is. This was one of my unicorn patterns. Sorry for the crinkle, you just wouldn't be able to see it. It's, oh no, I don't know if this is supposed to be the thread for like a sparkly or if it's like a shipping thing. I really hope it's not the thread. I think it's the thread shit. Sorry for the English. Look at, it's all, that's not great. Anyway, this is the Dreams collection, work by Thomas Kincaid. This is the Little Mermaid one. So I got the kit off of someone on Instagram, which I realized now, years later, was probably a bit risky. But it did come. It's got everything in it. It was packaged and sorted. So it's got all the call for threads, and I just realized this is the decorative thread. I might need to work with that. I don't know how that's gonna work. It comes with an 18 count Aida, which I might swap out. But I have lots of things that I could use for that. But this was one of the patterns that I really, really, really wanted. Little Mermaid is probably my favorite animated Disney movie. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, I have to have this. Now the pattern itself is also paper, as you can see. It's pages, but it's big pages. And there's lots of back stitching. It's gonna be like a labor of love, basically. That's not cool. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But this is one of the ones that I want to start this week. It's been sitting in my closet for about 2 years now, despite wanting to start it. I think something about it intimidates me, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna start it. So the next one, the one that I plan on starting tomorrow, nothing is bobbinated, but I've decided I'm just gonna go ahead and start it anyway, because I have everything for it. And this is, sorry for all the crinkles, this is Blue Rose artwork by Laura Prindle. So I have everything I need for this, and this is one of the few patterns that I have converted so I can use Pattern Keeper. So I won't be using this paper pattern. But look how pretty that is. So this is going to be my birthday start tomorrow. I have everything here, all this stuff, and I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna keep all the threads together, and I will bobbinate as I go. I think that's just what's gonna have to happen. And the third one that is ready to start, that I have everything here for, this is Phoenix Queen by Filipina. You've probably seen some other people be doing this. So when I first started Cathedral Woods Goddess, that's when I basically got into kind of like, I want to do all the pretty ladies. And so I have this one, and I have at least 5 other ones that are fully kitted up downstairs. This one at least is all bobbinated, but there's lots of like pretty threads, lots of beads. This is going to be so much fun. And this is the fabric that I've chosen for it. Look at that. It's not coming out quite as orange as it is in real life. It's a lot more orangey. And this is a Bestitch Me called Garden Party, and it's a 16 count. So this will be getting started this week too. This has been sitting here ready to go. I just haven't picked it up because I have Cathedral Woods Goddess, I have Belle de Mer, I have the Blackwater Sirens Sal, so that was 3 on the go already. And I don't know, I think I had it in my head that I should finish one, but I don't think I'm going to finish them anytime soon. So I think I'm just going to go for it. And the other one that I plan on starting, but I don't have anything for just yet, my mom is going to get me the fabric for my birthday. I measured all my available fabric that I had, and it's just not enough. It's okay width-wise, but I need like another 10 inches height-wise. So this is called At the Watering Hole, and this is by Dragon Muse, and it was the limited edition on Heaven and Earth Design. and I saw this, and this I'm going to be using the paper for. Oh, sorry, my alarm is going off. I just wanted to miss it. Sorry. So I saw this, and I was just like, oh my god, this is gorgeous. And because it was a limited edition, I talked myself into grabbing a copy. So what I plan on doing once I get the thread is, at least for the first few pages, I'm just going to do the black. I think, and if I happen to have any of the other colors in my stash, then I will just allocate them to this project. But I really want to get some of my projects started. This will be my biggest project. This is 500 wide by 875 height. And I'm going to be doing it on a 25 count. And yeah, so this will be one of my biggest projects, I think. If I look at my calculator here, and I go, so 500 times 875. So that's going to be 437,500 stitches, roughly. Yeah, roughly. So this will be my biggest project by far, like doubled. This is basically double Amethyst, which is my current one. And all of my other patterns downstairs, except for like one of those story keep ones, like the long like snippet ones, are all basically this big. So obviously I need to start starting them. And before, I always wanted to have like every single thing in place before I started them, because of the way I like to stitch, which is the 10 by 10 blocks and a diagonal. But if that means I only get the colors for the first couple of pages, that could save me in the long run, because I don't get very many stitches done in a year anyway. Like, this is my best year so far in my 5 years of stitching. I think I'm at 55,000, but that's double what I did last year, basically. So like, I'm not going to do more than a couple pages on every project anyway. So if I kind of do it with that thought in mind, then I can start everything. But maybe next year next year will probably be a year of starts, because I can get ready for it. So those are the new starts, and all the other three except for this one will be getting started in the next week or so. So you'll see them in my regular update. As for goals and those kinds of plans, I'm still going to be doing the challenge group that I'm in. And I'll give you guys more information on that at the end of the year. It's a closed group, and they only open up for registration like once or twice a year. So I'll give you information when that actually happens, otherwise you'll be able to find it anyway. So that's one group, challenge group, and I also joined a group called Survival of the Fittest. And basically you get assigned to a town, and then you basically, stitch for your necessities, different events, goods to sell and stuff like that. So I have that I just, anything I stitch goes towards that. And then very recently I joined Sisky Stitches Facebook group, and I love all the games that she does. I don't know how she just creates all of them, but it's fantastic. And so I've decided to join in doing the weekly acrostic and the glamorous number 3. I think those are, I'm going to try those for a couple weeks, see if I can keep up with them. And then I think that would be the best way to do that. And then I'm not like overburdening myself right at the beginning. Yeah, so looking, like, I've already allocated the stitches for this week for that stuff. Where have I? And I just put everything into my little notebook here. I just write it out. This is something that I've started doing recently because I have so many different groups, so many things I'm stitching for. And I'm also working on the Harry Potter book challenge. I'm sure most of us have heard of it by now, but there's the Facebook group where you can do Harry Potter series, Jane Austen books, the Chronicles of Narnia. So I'm working on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm on chapter 4. So each time I do like the pages, so I'm going by pages, and each time I'm just spinning for a new whip. So that's kind of how I'm like trying to get on my projects to get more progress. So everything is on a wheel except for Silhouettes, because I don't have the color for that, which is really too bad. But I've already broken my no-buy year, so I really shouldn't go on 1-2-3 Stitch and start ordering stuff, if you know what I mean. If I get on there, I'm gonna buy everything that I haven't been able to for the entire half year, and I've already broken it by going to the craft store here. But that's it. That's all for my plans and everything that I'm working on. If you've stayed till this end of the video, thank you very much. If you liked what you saw, leave me a comment. I really like seeing what you guys have to say, and potentially come back and watch me again. I'm gonna try and put up like a progress video in a week, because you just saw some of my most recent progress in some of these anyway. So yeah, so that's it for today, and I will see you guys all soon. Bye.